The main industries were a meat packing plant and the prison. Okay, should I look at you or look at the camera?
Look at me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, he's right.
Okay. Well, let's start. Raised in South Dakota.
Yes.
Which part of your personality gives that away, that you're from there?
That I'm friendly, maybe. I don't know. I think growing up in South Dakota made me a little bit tough and friendly. Always making jokes with strangers and like you just go out on the street and meet people and say hi, crack jokes to like maybe the clerk, like the grocery clerk or something, and talk to people at bars, and then breaking bottles, going berserker. Is kind of the South Dakota part.
What kind of a town did you grow up in?
It was a town of about 120,000 people. It was in the middle of nowhere. Sioux Falls. I mean, I love you, Sioux Falls, Por Vida. But the main industries were a meat packing plant and the prison. So it was rough and tumble, for sure.
What do Midwestern girls that are coming from there, what are they like? Are you a typical girl?
Oh, I don't know. Kind of. They're no, I'm not. But they're kind of, you know, sometimes like can be rough and tumble. But most of them just have lots of kids.
Yeah, that's what when I think about the Midwest, these conservative
Yeah.
surroundings and.
Yeah, most people, their family is very important, I would say, and also maybe family planning is not so important. There's lots of kids, I would say, which is cool, you know. I love kids, actually.
Had you been to LA prior to moving there?
I visited there with my family, but I was very young. I think we went to like Disneyland or something, so I didn't really know what it was like. It was kind of just almost a guess to move there. It's like throwing darts at a map and saying, okay, well, I think I think Welcome to the Jungle is a pretty good song, and I really like LA Woman by The Doors, so maybe LA seems cool. So it's pretty naive, I guess.
Is that the only image you had of the city through songs?
Kind of, yeah. Yeah, I didn't know what it was going to be like. All I knew is that, like, you know, New York, no one from the Midwest even thinks about going to New York because they'll slit your throat for a nickel in that big city. You know, you'll end up dead in the gutter, eaten by cockroaches or something if you go to New York. But, you know, LA, you're still crazy, but at least there's, like, the beach or something. Or you can go to Disneyland. I don't know. So
well, Bob Dylan was from the Midwest.
What?
Bob Dylan was from the Midwest.
Yeah.
He went to New York.
That's true, he did.
He did quite all right.
He did do all right. Yeah, he was from a town very near where my grandparents are from.
Duluth or?
Kind of near Duluth. I have relatives in
Hibbing.
Duluth, and yeah, near where my dad grew up on a farm.
What did you stumble upon when you first came into town in
First
LA?
went to LA. Oh. The LA that I knew and like hung out in is pretty different than a lot of people's idea of LA. Like, you know, I never hung out much in Hollywood or any place like that. Like, I hung out mostly like in downtown at places like The Smell, or in like Northeast LA, which is much more like Latino neighborhood. But yeah, it was kind of crazy. Like, everyone was a lot more mild than I thought. Like, and I was kind of like when I moved there, I was kind of insecure, and I was really rough. I was really rough around the edges. So I'd be like, this party's boring. Why aren't we breaking bottles? You know, or something just like, what? And that's kind of how I was when I first moved, because I didn't know how else to be. And everyone in California is like, hey man, it's cool. Like, chill out, you know, or something. So, yeah, it was a big culture shock. I don't even know I feel like I'm still processing it, and it's still coming out on stuff like the record and my work, kind of the difference between coming from a place like South Dakota and moving to a place like California. I mean, for example, like in Europe is about the same size as the US, right? Kind of, give or take. But you know, in Europe you'd have an idea like, oh, you know, Italians might have different ideas than Germans, or you have different, how they'd be different. But in America it's supposed to be just one large place, so you think that the culture, oh, it's just all the same, but it's very different. And so no one had prepared me for what to expect or how the cultural differences were. I had no clue.